Good evening and bienvenue, my fond fair friends, family, and subscribers. This is your humble narrator, Diomedes Rouge, here to say, I'm sorry. I tried to upload sooner than this, but work was a pain this last couple of days. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's just, they finally got a day off, and now I'm here to bring you your, much needed dose of, I guess you could say, content. And I hope you and all forgive me. If not, I'll make it up to y'all. Now, where we last left off, Asta had just, made quite the scene. And then, boom, boom, boom. Screams, panic, mayhem, explosions, all happening from outside. Everyone started turning around and figuring, what the hell's going on? Gutsta, as some of you have gone to calling him, was thinking, shit, not again. As a messenger reports to the Wizard King that the city is under attack, that zombies that the undead are walking around, and that enemy magic knights have invaded. They begin to try and formulate a strategy. However, before they even get to the table, all Yami can see is good old Asta in his armor and just goes, what the hell? My boss, yeah? What is it? What is it, Asta? Yami reports to him. Or rather, Yami states to him, I'm going to take care of this problem. I'm going to go out and try and take care of this problem. Whenever you finally figure out what's going on, inform me. What? I'm not going to waste time while people could be dying. Tell me a good place to send any refugees. What? Tell them to go to here. He lists a small barracks that should be relatively safe. Right. As well, there is a window, or rather there was a window, as all everyone else can suddenly hear is thunk, 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 as the impacts of metal against marble suddenly increase and get, more powerful, as suddenly crunch, 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 as the impacts of metal breaking marble, as the armor that is being worn by Asta begins to move faster and faster as he launches himself through the window, the stained glass beautiful window, and out the castle, and onto, one of the guard towers. And he makes a loud and thunderous crash as he impacts the tower. He then uses that momentum and launches himself off of that tower and towards the city. Yami's looking at the Wizard King and says, I'm going to have to pay for that, aren't I? Oh, yeah. Asta, I'm going to kill you. As well, pardon me one moment. Leopold and Vingolion both take a, similar reaction to Asta's. Essentially jumping out and going off to attack and protect this, to go out and protect the city. Not trying to talk and do all this bull crap, but actually move and perform what they do best, offensive tactics. They figure they can hold off the spread. They can destroy massive groups and save a lot of people. Meantime, the others can strategize. And whenever they're done finally strategizing, they can send someone to notify them of the plan. At least that's what I believe Vingolion thought. Because personally, that's the best idea in my opinion. As the old saying goes, when it comes to a battlefield, oftentimes the person who comes up with a quick solution, a quick strategy, a quick plan, is oftentimes in a better position than the person who came up with a perfect plan, who tries to come up with a perfect plan. Now, why, you may ask? Simple. You could save more people and in turn keep more resources if you think quickly than taking your time and thinking about the perfect plan. Let someone else worry about making that one. Your betters worry about making the perfect plan, while you save as many as possible. That's what I believe Vingolion was thinking. But that's neither here nor there. They both charge out. Well, Leopold looking for where Asta took off to, figuring he would need backup. And then he hears a loud boom. Meanwhile, we cut to Asta's point of view. He impacts the ground with an amazing thud, crushing several zombies as he does so. As he rolls and brings out his Demon Slayer greatsword, doing a spiral horizontal slash. Or rather, I should say, doing a spinning horizontal slash, using the momentum of his impact and roll to kill even more as he goes on a rampage, swinging his sword in a figure-8 diagonal pattern, hacking and slashing, destroying anything that gets in his way, whether it be zombie or enemy mage. Asta is not letting anything that would attack city and innocents survive. No. He's tired of this bull crap. He's tired of dealing with people always trying to screw with his life. No matter where he goes, he can't live a single day in peace. And, well, now he's pissed. He just a few enemy mage grunts try and stop him, try and slow him down, but all it does is piss him off as he bisects them, trisects them, and in some cases just decimates them. In case you don't know, that means being hacked into 10 pieces. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. But back to the show. Asta eventually finds himself in front of the summoner. Oh, he doesn't even ask his name. He doesn't try and negotiate. He doesn't try any of that bull crap. He charges him full on. All this poor guy can see is a black blur with glowing red eyes darting towards him. He tries to make a bigger zombie appear in front of him, to hold him down, to stop the impact, and it does. The satisfying thunk of the anti-magic sword piercing straight through the zombie's torso as Asta impacts on the body and causes it to move forward and lay down on the ground. However, what the young man didn't know was that Guts, the spirit that is, well, inside of Asta has been doing this a lot longer and has had a lot more experience. And being slowed down won't stop him. It just makes him that much more pissed off. As he raises as Guts, or in this case, Gutsta, raises his left arm. Goes, huh? As you can hear a mild as the hand lowers down and gets pulled back underneath the forearm. As a barrel can be seen. And before the young man can even react, kaboom! It fires, removing the top half of the young man's body, destroying the back wall behind him, and leaving a very bloody mess, coating Asta's armor in even more blood than he already had. He then gets up, takes out his pouch, loads another round into his arm, and reattaches the hand into the proper locking position. And he just walks away, smiling. Until he sees, well, a very familiar, well, somewhat familiar face. As Leopold has caught up with him and is currently going, what the hell happened? The guy who was summoning the zombies is dead. That should be a lot less on our plates now, as around the entire city, there are reports of the zombies just falling down and dispersing, disappearing. As the Magic Knights that are still strategizing at this point get reports that the zombies have just suddenly stopped and have begun to disperse. As Fingolion is just in the middle of burning and destroying them as they all fall down in his area. Well, well, looks like I owe the Black Bulls a bit more of an apology than I thought. Now you may be asking, how does he know it was the Black Bulls? How does he know that it could have been Asta? It could have been any of the other Magic Knights that were still down there fighting. The thing is, he figures he's just got a hunch. Pardon me for a brief moment. Apologies about that. I had to take care of something. Now, right, a hunch. So, after that, we could say that Fingolion came across went and essentially found the location of Asta and, well, dang it, can't remember that kid's name for life. Leopold, God bless, forgive me. He was able to find Asta and Leopold, which was a lot easier without having to deal with a horde of zombies. He gathered them together, both of them together, and essentially told them that we're going to be pushing in this general direction. And if you're wondering, well, how are they able to take care of everything so fast? Simple. Because unlike in the show, Asta moved faster. He didn't just move faster, he moved several times faster. The other people haven't even said that the enemy haven't even gotten to their proper positioning yet by the time Asta began moving. So yes, if any of you were wondering that. If not, my apologies for the side tangent. Carrying on. As they were about to move forward, a different mage appears. A spatial one. Leopold was about to try and take him on whenever Fingolion waved him aside, telling them he's got this handled. You two take care of the small fries. Leopold was somewhat disturbed by this, saying, "No, wait, what? Shouldn't we go and attack as a group?" And then Asta said, "No, you have to have faith in your comrades. Let's run. We'll take care of more things. We could take care of more if we break apart. Besides, he's a captain. He should be able to handle it if he's anything like Yami." He says, "Right." As they both begin to, take off, leaving Fingolion alone with the spatial mage. Meanwhile, above the sea, the Magic Knights have finally come up with a proper strategy and have dispersed into their appropriate teams. And in doing so, oh, the beauty is just about to kick in. As Yuno, oh yes, Yuno, is flying above the city, realizing that before he could even do any counterattacks, that the zombies have all dispersed. The word was true. As he essentially just goes after and begins to take out enemy mage after enemy mage after enemy mage, kicking them through, slicing them with wind magic, essentially breaking their spirits before they could even get broken themselves by his power. Until he notices a tear begin to form in the sky as he quickly darts out of the way. Oh yes. He notices that several groups of magic knights are having, the magic ripped out of them. As he looks and is able to spot this woman doing so, she begins to make a slight chuckle as she basically, begins to say something as Yuno is not having any of it and charges dead on, punching her dead in the face, sending her flying into, the building. Now you may ask, why would he do that? Simple. This isn't the Yuno. See what I did there? Aha, puns. But no, in all seriousness, this isn't the same Yuno. This isn't the in-canon Yuno. This is a Yuno that trained for years with Asta. The same Yuno that trained with years with Guts. He understands the meaning of battle. He understands in a battle you do not talk when you can fight. You do not say words when you can tear each other apart. Because if you do so, you're being foolish, or you're being cocky, or you're being, just plain distracting. And either one of those things is not who they are. She gets up and proceeds to counterattack him. Yuno doesn't let her get the chance, sending volley after volley after volley of wind slashes descending down upon her at breakneck speeds. She tries to counter, but it's no use, because he's not letting up. If he can't attack at range, she tries to block off his range, which in turn just makes him go into more intimate ways of attacking, mainly getting up in her face and trying to punch, kick, or strike her. Bringing forth wind blades summoning forth close range wind blades from his body, and attacking, and just completely keeping her on the defensive, not letting her move, not letting her think, not letting her try and prepare. That is Yuno's current style. A subsonic warhead that just does not relent on its target until it is dead. And boy, is he effective at it. No breathing room left. No maneuvering room left. All that you can do is defend until you can try and find an opening to either counter or escape. And she eventually finds a way to escape. But just barely, suffering grave injuries in the process. She was beyond furious, beyond upset. All she got was his face. His face. A man so intent on killing that he didn't even let her speak, much less act. It intrigued her, but more importantly, it pissed her off. But deep down, she thought he was kind of cute. Because Yuno still got that baby face. He still got that face that, well, makes everybody swoon. Well, anyone who would be attracted to that face swoon. Poor bastard. But that's neither here nor there. My apologies yet again. As now we cut back to, well, Fingolian, as he's attacking the spatial mage. They have their conversation. You all know the drill. He winds up attacking. They counterattack. Fingolian winds up getting his arm lopped off due to him opening up a portal and then closing it on him. Because that's a stupid idea. However, that's when things begin to take a change. Because remember, Asta and Leopold aren't there. They aren't there to back him up. He sent them away, seeing their strength. Unlike last go-around where he tried to protect them, he saw Asta's ability, his prowess, and decided that it'd be best if he was off trying to save more people, believing he could handle this fight. Now he's in a very bad situation. Now he's at the mercy of his enemies. And there's no one around, as far as he knows. Right before the final blow can be given, a strange green energy is sent flying towards both of them. High intense wind pressure that is so great and powerful that carves the concrete itself in front of, well, Fingolian and the spatial mage. As he looks up as the spatial mage looks up high into the sky and spots a boy way above with very dark black hair, a cold stare, and a menacing aura. as he blinks once, and our good friend Yuno, who just so happened to notice this out of the glance, charges down at full force. Like the speed of a bullet fired from a gun, he descends. And oh boy, is it kind of a terrifying sight when you think about it. Why would it be terrifying? Simple. Imagine you see a guy way up in the top of a building. Next thing you know, when you blink, he's practically on top of you. He's practically right in front of you. The only difference is, Yuno wasn't on top of a building, he was just floating in the air, which is even more terrifying now that I think about it. Like, that's pee your pants level of terrifyingness. Just blink once and boom, I'm here in front of you. What are you going to do about it? But apologies for the side tangent yet again. I get easily distracted. So, he continues, and you might be wondering, how is Yuno there? Remember, they went flying through the city at high speeds. Yuno wasn't caring about where he was going while he was flying, attacking this woman. All he cared about was that he was attacking this woman, keeping her on the defensive. She couldn't stay put on a singular building from Yuno. Do you know how stupid that would be? That's basically setting yourself up in a very bad... That's like basically cornering yourself against an opponent who can move on a 3-dimensional axis, you sitting on a 2-dimensional axis. You're screwing yourself. So she took to the skies, figuring she could escape. She was lucky in that someone was able to get her out. What she was not lucky in is that she brought him directly above where another fight was taking place. Oh boy. And where's Asta and Leopold at this time? Simple. Asta is carving his way through a bunch of enemies while Leopold is providing rear fire support, you could say. See what I did there? Rear fire support. Because he has fire. Okay, I'll stop now. So, they carve through the enemy mages, what's left of them, as they're being routed from every single position. Eventually, the Silva family is able to catch up to Fingolian. Again, the younger ones laugh at Fingolian for his weakness and such. And that's whenever the oldest of the Silva family berate them, telling him at least he did something, essentially. At least he saved people and tried to help. Meanwhile, all we did was waste time. He fought like a true warrior, unlike us. Essentially making them both quite flustered and, well, aghast that their brother, this man's who's known for hating Fingolian, or at least his tactics, has just praised him above his family. They're shocked and aghast. But that matters not. As the attack on the city kind of ends. Yes, no one got kidnapped. Fingolian lost an arm. And everyone somewhat survived. The enemy realized that their attack has been routed. And someone Not saying who got what they came for. Because if you believe it's the same guy who's leading them, who's leading these group of dark mages, you're wrong. But I'll save that for another part. For now, I wish you all a fond fair farewell, a fond and fair goodbye, a good evening, and a good morning, because it's currently morning where I'm from. And, well, now that we have a differentiating timeline, a split from the main canon that is a hard split. Oh, the amount of fun I'm about to have. Oh, you have no idea the amount of shit I have in store for our poor, poor little berserker boy. Both good and bad. Trust me, it won't all be just bad. Believe me, I'm not that cool. I'm not. Have a blessed one, and goodbye.